win, go win, go win, go win, go win, win, go win.
We began the show in the Super Bowl in San Francisco as the Seattle Seahawks beat the New England Patriots 29-13 in San Francisco in Super Bowl 60 for the Seahawks. Sam Darnold, he went 19 for 38. He threw for 203 passing yards, 1 touchdown. Kenneth Walker, he finished with 27 carries, 135 rushing yards. Also took home Super Bowl MVP for the Patriots. Drake May, he struggled. He went 27 for 43. He threw for 295 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So, my biggest takeaway from the Seattle Seahawks dominant 29-13 win over the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 is, in the words of the great Dennis Green, they are who we thought they were. And I said all season that the New England Patriots were pretenders, not real contenders. Because when you look at the New England Patriots, in the regular season, the Patriots, they had the easiest strength of schedule since the 1999 St. Louis Rams. And they finished 14-3. And they won the AFC East, and they were the number 2 seed in the AFC entering the playoffs. And throughout the regular season, Drake May, he played at times at a high level, so much so there were people who were saying that Drake May deserved to be in that elite quarterback conversation. And he had, in the regular season, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, over 4,000 yards passing. He completed 72% of his passes. He even came in second place in the NFL MVP race. But I said during the regular season and once the postseason started that not only the New England Patriots, but Drake May, they both, as a team and as a quarterback, were a little bit overhyped. Let's talk about the Patriots' road to the Super Bowl, because I think it was a cakewalk to the Super Bowl for the New England Patriots. Round 1, they get a Chargers team who had a banged-up offensive line. They didn't have either of their starting offensive tackles in Joe Alt or Rashawn Slater. We fast forward to the divisional round of the playoffs. The Texans rolled into New England, and in Foxborough, C.J. Stroud turned into a turnover machine for the Houston Texans. And I said during that game, as I was watching it, if the Houston Texans had competent play at the quarterback position, I think the Texans beat the Patriots in the divisional round of the playoffs. The Texans defense, they were an elite defense. I think the Texans have a top 3 defense in pro football. But C.J. Stroud continued to turn the football over in that playoff game. And it was clear that C.J. Stroud has regressed as a quarterback and taken a step back. But even in that game, Drake May had multiple turnovers in that game as well. We fast forward to the AFC Championship game. And before the Patriots and Broncos even took the field, the Patriots had an advantage over the Broncos because the Broncos did not have Bo Nix in that football game. They started Jarrett Stidham. Stidham had not thrown a pass in an NFL game in 2 years. And we go to the AFC Championship game. In the first quarter, the Broncos outplayed the Patriots. And the Patriots offense, they could not get any momentum. They didn't really get any first downs. And I thought the Broncos defense dominated the Patriots offense, specifically in the first quarter of the AFC Championship game. And then, to me, the turning point in that game was the Broncos were up 7-0 over the Patriots. Broncos were inside the Patriots' 30-yard line, and I love Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton is one of the best coaches in pro football. But at 7-0, you are playing your backup quarterback. I felt like Sean Payton should have taken the field goal and went up 10-0 over the Patriots. Instead, Sean Payton decides to go for the knockout. The Patriots get a stop, which was a great defensive stop. All the momentum swung in favor of the New England Patriots. But even in that game, in the first half, the Patriots' only touchdown came off of a Stidham fumble that put the Patriots in the red zone, and that was the only touchdown that they scored in that game. The Patriots had so much luck during this postseason run. In the second half of the AFC Championship game, it was a blizzard. It was a blizzard, for crying out loud. And I felt like if the Broncos had Bo Nix, I think the Broncos would have beaten the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And we get to the Super Bowl, and it was clear from the beginning of the football game that the Seahawks were the better football team. And I felt like the Seahawks defense made a huge impact on the game, and they got after Drake May. They really got after Drake May, and he had 2 interceptions, multiple turnovers in the game. The Seahawks had 6 sacks on Drake May. And so I thought the Seahawks defense dominated the football game. So much so, Sam Darnold only had to just manage the football game for the Seahawks. And he deserves credit for that. I'm going to get to Sam Darnold and the Seahawks in a minute. But just overall, I felt like the New England Patriots and Drake May were overhyped throughout the regular season, and even in the postseason, they had a cakewalk to the Super Bowl, and even the stats back it up. I'm looking at Drake May. In the regular season, he completed 72% of his passes. In the playoffs, he only completed 58% of his passes. Drake May, his touchdown to turnover ratio in the regular season was 35-11. In the playoffs, it was 7-8. Drake May's passer rating in the regular season was 113.5. In the postseason, it's 82.2. So, Drake May specifically, they were talking about how great Drake May was, but to me, it's only 5 quarterbacks who deserve to be considered elite quarterbacks. That's Patrick Mahomes, that's Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Matthew Stafford, and Josh Allen. Those are the 5 quarterbacks, to me, who deserve to be considered elite quarterbacks. Drake May is no better than Jordan Love. He's no better than Jaden Daniels. He's no better than Brock Purdy. Okay, so I felt like he was overhyped, and the Patriots team overall was overhyped. And the thing is, though, on the flip side, this was a great team win by the Seattle Seahawks. And I got to give credit to second-year head coach Mike Macdonald, because Mike Macdonald came into Seattle as their head coach, and he has completely turned around that franchise in only 2 years. And he moved off of Geno Smith. And at the time, I said, Sam Darnold is not an upgrade over Geno Smith. Thank God I'm not a general manager, because clearly John Snyder, the general manager for the Seahawks, and Mike Macdonald, they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. And I feel like the Seahawks, they bring in Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold, to me, during this playoff run, he has done exactly, specifically what the Seahawks have needed to win football games. In the first round against the 49ers, well, they had a bye week in the wild card round, but in the divisional round of the playoffs against the 49ers, they didn't need Sam Darnold to do much. And Sam Darnold managed the game, had 124 passing yards, 1 touchdown, but the defense dominated that particular game against Brock Purdy and the 49ers, and Sam Darnold just had to be a game manager. We fast forward to the NFC Championship game, which I believe, looking back, the NFC Championship game was the Super Bowl this year, because the NFC Championship game was a great game between the Rams and the Seahawks. And Sam Darnold went toe-to-toe, point for point with Matthew Stafford. And I was thinking, watching that game, like, oh, Seattle, they're going to need Sam Darnold to step up in this moment and prove that he is a franchise quarterback. And boy, did Sam Darnold deliver for the Seattle Seahawks. He had over 300 passing yards in the NFC Championship game, 3 touchdowns, and made play after play after play. And he outplayed Matthew Stafford slightly in the NFC Championship game, and that was the difference between the Seahawks and the Rams. The Rams and the Seahawks are 2 evenly matched football teams in my eyes, but I think Sam Darnold outplaying Matthew Stafford slightly was the difference. And we get to the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold's numbers weren't great. He goes 19 for 38, 203 passing yards, 1 touchdown, but he even lost his number 1 receiver in JSN in this football game. And he still was able to make timely plays for the Seattle Seahawks, and he deserves credit for that. And this was a great, resilient story from Sam Darnold, because the NFL had pretty much written Sam Darnold off, seriously. And Sam Darnold becomes the first starting quarterback in NFL history to win a Super Bowl while on his 5th team or later. And this is the most impressive thing that Sam Darnold did on this playoff run. During the regular season, Sam Darnold had 20 turnovers. He had 14 interceptions and 6 fumbles. In the postseason, he didn't have a single turnover. So that's another reason why the Seahawks were able to win the Super Bowl. But as great as Sam Darnold played, the reason why the Seahawks are champions is because of their elite defense. That Seahawks defense, they balled out all postseason long. And this Seahawks defense deserves to be in that conversation with Legion of Boom, the previous Seahawks defense that was able to win a Super Bowl. They should have been back-to-back Super Bowl champions, but if it weren't for the worst play call in NFL history, they would have been back-to-back Super Bowl champions. And that Seahawks defense, though, this year specifically, they did a great job applying pressure on opposing quarterbacks. And I'm looking at the Seahawks defense. Up front, you got DeMarcus Lawrence. And big shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence leaves Dallas, goes to Seattle, and wins a Super Bowl. And I'm happy for him. But it wasn't just him. Byron Murphy II, Leonard Williams. In the secondary, you got Devon Witherspoon, Kobe Bryant, who went to UC, a former UC alumni here in Cincinnati. And you got Josh Jobe as well. That Seahawks defense, they proved that they were the best defense in the NFL. And they got after Drake May in the Super Bowl. And I feel like, honestly, watching the Super Bowl, like, we got a chance to really see the Seattle Seahawks and how they have great team chemistry. And they lost JSN. JSN left the game with injury, but they were able to still pull it out and win a Super Bowl. And Sam Darnold and Kenneth Walker immediately took their talents to Disney World. And shout out to Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker stepped up in the absence of Charbonnet and won Super Bowl MVP. He will be a free agent in the offseason, so we'll see if they bring him back. But, man, it was a great performance from the Seahawks. And the thing is, like, the Seahawks as a football team, they, throughout the regular season, we still wondered, like, will the Seahawks be able to get over the hump? They in a tough division. Like, unlike the Patriots, Seahawks are in the NFC West. You got the 49ers, you got the Rams that you got to deal with. So this was not an easy road for the Seahawks. They are the complete opposite of the Patriots. The Seahawks beat division rivals en route to the Super Bowl. They beat the 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. They beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game. And we all know in the NFL, it's hard to beat your division rivals in the playoffs because you've already played them twice. I already played you twice. So that's another major accomplishment for the Seattle Seahawks football team. And they had a great season. So big shout out to Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker, Mike McDonald, and the entire Seattle Seahawks football team and their organization. They are champions today. And again, Patriots, to me, a little bit overrated and overhyped throughout the regular season. Drake May was also overhyped and overrated as well. But Drake May does have a bright future moving forward as the Patriots quarterback.